Hello everybody, Cigark here, back with another educational video for the infected. So as you see here, I have a bridge leading over from one part of the land to another over a body of water. This build is located in the southwest part of the map, and on the southwestern part, if you open up your map, you'll see it's almost kind of like a peninsula. So I built from the peninsula outwards. This bridge building guide is going to be split into two different parts. So the first part you're watching now is going to show you how to build the bridge section. And then the second part, I'm going to show you how to build the little base that I built on top of it. So with this bridge build, it's consisting of mainly four different parts. Those being the wood ramps, wood foundations, a wooden half wall, and then the main part that leads across the bridge section is going to be a wooden ceiling. So when you find an area you want to build into, the first thing you'll have to do is clean out any boulders or trees or stumps. When that happens, it'll leave behind some stones like I have here, or possibly some firewood if you chop down a stump. You want to clear those out because if there's like a single stone sitting in your way, it's not going to let you build on top of it. The blueprint is never going to turn green. It'll just be red until you move that stuff. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just moving the stones over because there's a boulder in here which I destroyed, and got to get rid of those stones. When you're building your first wooden ramp that's got to be flush with the ground, you'll want to make sure that it's pretty even on the bottom. So this first one I just placed down is pretty much flush. You'll want to double check that because it's very hard to fix that later on. If you don't start from a good flat area or somewhere that's somewhat flat, it's just going to make it a little bit hard. Like you might get stuck when you're trying to walk up on it. So pay attention to that when you're starting off. So here would be a good example of that. I just placed my second wooden ramp on the right side, and the elevation doesn't line right up. Yeah, so I can already tell that ramp is going to line up much better. So I'm going to erase the old one. Yeah, see, that's perfectly flush. Also, be aware that when you do delete a structure you've already built, you'll get back half the resources that you put into it. So half the resources of that wooden foundation, instead of the 4 logs I put in, I got 2 back. So it's better than nothing, I guess. And I'm going to edit out most of the gathering of planks and wood for you, just because that's what half of the video would be if I didn't do that, and I don't think you want to watch that. So I'm going to be respectful of your time and edit that out for you. But I'm going to leave this part in because what I do here is kind of important. So you want to move your circular saw bench or saw bench, whatever you're using, separate from where you're going to be chopping down logs. So what I basically try to do when I'm building, chop down your logs from trees that are closest to you, and then put the saw bench a little bit further away or on an opposite side. That way you're a little bit more efficient when you're running back and forth. Also here, what I did, I built up that wooden half wall. That's very important. That way I can build up the wooden ramp to it. And then I can put the ceiling right over top of it. So this is the start of the bridge here. So in this game, once you have a wall built, whether it's a half wall or a full wall, you can build a ceiling on top of it, and you can pretty much go out indefinitely. And that's the main mechanic of the game that I use to build this bridge. So on each side of the bridge, I have a half wall built up, and then I have the ceiling going across from it. All right, good. So it looks like this is going to line up pretty well. I would like to have it started a little bit more to the right, but I could still make this work. So I'll put another half wall down right there. Can put my another ramp down. And what I would also recommend doing when you find a spot that you're going to build in, bring some nails with you. That way you can bring a wood cart. I forgot to do that when I first started this build because I didn't really know exactly where I wanted to build. The wood cart holds 11 logs at a time, so it's going to make everything a lot easier since you can only hold 3 in your hands at a time. So I'm going to delete these wooden foundations and then replace them with the wood ceilings. Oh, lost that log. Some random sheep over there. Ooh, I'm not a good person. So I think at this point, I'm actually going to run back to my base and get that, get those nails I was talking about so I can build the wood cart. Because like I said, the wood cart is going to make everything a lot easier. So this part of the build, it's definitely the most grindiest part because you're just going to be running back and forth and getting these wood ceilings going across. Your bridge might not be as long as this one is, but if it is, I feel sorry for you. It's really not too bad. Just put on some music or whatever and just kind of zone out like I'd usually do. In the new version 10 update, the developer is adding a creative mode, which will get rid of the need for resource requirements. So you can pretty much build like bases like this as much as you want. You won't have to worry about running back and forth. So if you want to be 100% efficient, the best way to do it would be to bring a wood cart with you and then have the resources for the circular saw bench in your inventory and just place that down. Also bring some fuel for the circular saw bench, whether it be biofuel or oil cans. One of the two, either one will be just fine. All right, so I've gotten pretty much to the tree line here at the other side of the water. So it's not really gonna let me build much further. Let's check it out. It won't even let me place the ceilings down anymore, so I'll probably have to start building from the ground up on the other side here and then try to make them connect. So this is really the hardest part because when you're trying to piece together two sides of the bridge, it's never going to lock up perfectly, or at least not in my experience it doesn't. So you'll kind of have to finagle it, but I'm going to show you a cool trick to get them to get together. So let me run over here with my circular saw bench. So press N and then it'll pick it up and make it invisible like this, and you can place it wherever you want. You can even let me see if I can actually move the lock card over too. Bit of a drop there. So let's see. No, yeah. So it doesn't really let you push the lock card can't really fall. It'll just kind of hover there. So it's probably good because you probably can't fall into the water with it. And it doesn't let me place the saw bench down there either, so I'll probably have to like jump with it or something. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. In this game's defense, I've never encountered any kind of glitches or anything like that. I mean, you get like these weird, like kind of unrealistic like bugs like this, but I've never like gotten an object stuck in anything. I've never had the game frozen on me. I've never had it crash. So the game's been out for like a year in like early access, so they're doing pretty good so far. But yeah, let me jump down here. So as you can see, I still have the saw bench ready to be placed, so I can pretty much put it whatever I want still, but I can't quite get up this area here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so like I explained before, I'm going to put it a little bit farther back. That way I can use the logs closer to the bridge for wood logs, and then I'll use the trees that are farther back as planks. This is really the hardest part of the build, is just placing this wooden foundation. So here I basically just lined it up as best I could by eye. I built the foundation as high as it can possibly go. And I think I'm just going to build some wood ramps up to the bridge on the other side. So that looks like it's pretty much lined up there, pretty close. So I'm going to start on the wood ramps now. So surprisingly, like, it's gonna let me place this ceiling here. There's no way I'm gonna make this jump though. It's gonna be impossible. But I'm gonna try it anyway. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Alright, here goes nothing. I definitely jumped way too far. But anyway, it was fun. Alright, so I got the wooden ramps built up, and then I was able to place a foundation way higher than the game would let me originally, just because it's connected to a wooden ramp there. And then, so I got a red ramp, so that's a bit of a problem. But I think I can probably fix this. So I'm going to try to delete this wooden ceiling, and then I'm going to put 2 blueprints down simultaneously. So that's not working. Actually, you know what? Probably this other one's in the way too. Okay. So the wood ramp should work now. Good. Okay, so we got green there. And then I think I can actually put the ceiling down again. It should work. Yep. So this is the main thing that makes this bridge work, because now it should let me walk up and down there fairly easily. I shouldn't get stuck. But let's throw some logs in there and find out real quick. All right, perfect. That looks good. It's not lined up exact on either side, but it's pretty darn close. And there's no like gap there where you're gonna get stuck or fall in. And then the other side here should be easy because it's just locking on to the side already built. So that's really the hardest part, is getting the 2 sides to link together. If you use that little trick of building both blueprints at the same time and then putting the resources in at the same time, you shouldn't have any trouble. So I'm pretty much just going to replicate what I just did for the second side. And if you're only doing a single lane bridge, you're already done. But here, I'm kind of thinking ahead, because in the next update for the infected, they are adding a truck. And I'm guessing that the truck is going to be a little bit too wide for a single lane bridge. So that's why I'm building the second one here. I want to build a nice base on the bridge. All right, so that's it. That's the last ramp there. And it, as far as like functionality, I walk up and down it no problem. And I should be able to use the log card on it as well. Let's check that out. Yeah, perfect. So now that'll make building the base on top of it much, much easier. So like I said, I'm going to show you how to do that in the next episode. You can build whatever kind of base you want on there, but I'm going to go into like the specifics on how to build like very cool looking roofs. I'm going to use a mixture of all the roof elements with some glass ceilings and stuff like that. So out of respect for your time, I'm going to split them into 2 episodes. So definitely check that one out next. As always, please like and subscribe and check out my other guides for the infected, and I will see you next time.